Look, we have very few details at the moment. She's been arrested, but she hasn't been formally charged as yet, so that process could still take some time. What she's been arrested for is supplying state secrets to overseas individuals or organisations. Now, that's a pretty broad coverall, so from that, it's anyone's guess what she will be charged with, and it's certainly not at all clear why she was arrested in the first place, or detained, I should say, in the first place.
Well, she'd already been detained for 6 months. Do we know what conditions have been like for her and where she's being held?
Yeah, according to DFAT officials, she has. They haven't revealed where she's being held, but she's been held in a cell with very little in the way of natural light and quite poor ventilation. So her health apparently has suffered over this time, and her conditions have been worsening, which suggests she's been, if you like, deprived of sleep and been interrogated more frequently before her arrest.
What legal assistance do you think she's currently getting from Australian officials?
Well, at the moment, I don't know that she's actually met her lawyer. Under the bilateral agreement, DFAT officials can meet with her once a month, and that has been complied with. But in terms of legal representation, now that she's been arrested formally, she should be able to see her lawyer, but we'll see if that's the case.
And Graeme, what do you make of the timing of this announcement, with the Chinese broadcaster Cheng Lei worked for just last week banned from UK airwaves?
Yeah, I mean, it's quite an extraordinary development, and it's sort of, I mean, when she was first detained, it was at a very low point in Australia-China relations, and we found out later that some Chinese journalists and academics had been investigated by ASIO and the Australian Federal Police 6 weeks before her detention. So it seemed at the time it was a bit of a tit for tat. Now, whether this thing that's happened in the UK with Ofcom ruling that CGTN cannot hold a licence in the UK has also washed into her fate is it's hard to say, but it really is all speculation. We don't know why she was detained, and we don't know why she was arrested at this point. But it is in some ways good that she's been, formally arrested, because it means things are moving forward. If you look at the case of Yang Henjun, who's been basically in limbo for more than 2 years now, it's sort of an awful predicament. So at least at this point, there should be a trial, and there should be some sort of resolution. Whether or not it's just is hard to say.
I guess it's also difficult to say what will likely happen to Cheng Lei and what kind of time frame we're looking at for her trial.
Yes, it's very, very hard to say. I mean, this phase can last a while. It could be they already have all the evidence that they require to proceed with the prosecution. As you know, in China, once they proceed with the prosecution, the chances of conviction stand at 99.99%. So the chances of her getting off the charges seem fairly slim.
So what are the chances of Australia securing her release?
It's again, that's the realm of speculation. Certainly our officials in Beijing will be doing absolutely everything they can. I mean, she was someone who is very well regarded in the expatriate community there. She was a real bridge between China and Australia. And in some ways, it's tragic and symbolic that as relations deteriorate, this quite crucial figure in, if you like, Australia-China friendship has been torn down for reasons no one knows.
And we've just seen some footage of Cheng Lei's niece talking there from Melbourne. It'll be a long time before she can be reunited with her family and 2 children, presumably.
Yeah, it's a dreadful situation. I mean, her children are 9 and 11, so old enough to have some understanding of what's going on. But, to be in sort of that sort of awful limbo, I mean, as a parent, you really feel for it. It's a terrible situation.
Dr. Graeme Smith, thanks so much for joining us. Really appreciate it.
Thank you.